Well, I've been in the journalism business for a long time, and this is the first time I've ever interviewed someone who had an 82-year-old car, and she was 20 years older than the car. So thanks for doing this. What was it about this car that you really liked? What jumped out at you about this?
I think particularly the lines of a Packard car are very artistic as far as I'm concerned. And my family drove Packards, and I was very proud of the fact that I guess I got indoctrinated into the family.
Could you tell us a little bit about the history of the car? I know at one point it was used by troops during the war, and they didn't take real good care of it.
Well, they tell me it went through World War II boot camp, and the boys rode it into town on the fenders and on the back and in the rumble seat and a few other things. And when it came for restoration, there was a lot of dents to be taken out, and particularly everything to be gone through, engine and chassis and everything else. It's got 22 coats of hand-rub lacquer on it. But that isn't saying about all the rubbing I've done on that car with a little polish underneath.
Well, you've done a lot with that car. Is it true that you still sometimes even change the oil?
Oh, yes, and spark plugs.
Wow. Wow.
No, it's been my pleasure. I love to get in. I don't know whether the oil likes me or I like the oil, but I come out a little bit darker.
In what year did you acquire the car?
I can't tell you exactly. It was in the 40s, late 40s, I know that.
Okay. I understand you started driving at age 8
I did.
On the farm, and at age 10, something went terribly wrong. Can you tell me about that?
Well, I'm a little short, but I've always wondered which end was the short end of me. And the part that goes on the brakes was not my... Well, let's say I was really short on that end. And I started my father's car up in the yard, and I was doing just fine. I was even going to make the corner, and then I decided it was pretty short business, and I tried to put the brakes on, and I couldn't, and I hit the barn. That was a disturbing development in our family. My father never spanked me. He never said a word. He just said, well, just get out. That's all there was to it.
Well, there was minor damage, I assume?
Oh, yes. One board in the barn went.
Yeah. How about the car?
Oh, those, what I was driving didn't amount to much anyway, so.
Okay. How many tickets have you gotten through all these years? Any?
A few.
Have you? When was the most recent one?
Well, I have lead in my feet. It disturbs the policeman very badly. It doesn't bother me at all.
How often do you drive? Do you still drive this one a bit?
Oh, yes, I drive it occasionally.
Yeah.
It's getting a little bit hard to maneuver at this time. I found out Armstrong steering isn't what it used to be on me even. So it's all a downhill situation.
I read, I think last year, that you were in the market for a new car at that point. Did you ever get a new one, or what are you driving now as a day-to-day car?
Oh, I'm driving a 2003. Yeah.
What kind of car?
Cadillac.
Okay, same one. I understand one of your neighbors was a fellow named Henry Ford. Can you tell me about that a little bit?
Oh, well, yeah. He was a boy in the neighborhood, and my father was a boy in the neighborhood, so we are acquainted with the Fords.
How close did he live, and what was he like? What kind of interaction did you have with him?
It was within several miles of our place. It was, there were other relatives of the Fords at the same location and so forth. And I'm proud to say that I lived very near the Gleasons at that time, and we called Grandpa Gleason, all the kids in the neighborhood called him Grandpa. He had a beautiful white beard, and he hired Henry Ford as a very young man to come and run a steam engine. And I understand Henry Ford acquired his mechanical knowledge for internal combustion engines from his stint with Grandpa Gleason.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
And so Henry Ford, even after he became quite famous, he would love to go back to his childhood haunts. Mm-hmm. And he would stop in at the Gleasons, he'd stop in at the Dunnings and
mm-hmm.
many other places.
Mm-hmm.
No, he kept to his old friends surprisingly well.
What sort of fellow was he? I mean, when he came in, what kind of interactions did you have with him?
Well, we knew him as a very kind, very much of a gentleman, and rather very interested in the young people of the community, mm-hmm. and he did a lot for the young engineers that mm-hmm. came out. However, he loved the, as he would say, the raw recruits that he would bring in.
Yeah, okay. You still belong to a number of car clubs, is that true?
Yes, I do belong quite a few.
How many shows do you go to during a typical year?
Well, I probably hit about 3 to 5 every summer, fairly well-known ones. Mm-hmm. I'm particularly pleased to be here today because it's a beautiful environment that this mm-hmm. occasion is taking place mm-hmm. in.
Have you been to the Glenmoor gathering before?
No, I have been through here and to the Glenmoor, but not for the occasion. Mm-hmm. No, this is my first. I'm really quite excited about
mm-hmm.
it.
That's a great show, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay. What, you had your first accident at age 10. Have you had other accidents through the years? With that much driving, I would think you've had a fender bender here or there.
Very, very little.
Yeah.
Very little.
Yeah.
No.
You have a number of other cars in your collection as well?
Yeah, I have a few I'm trying to get down.
Yeah. This clearly is your favorite though, right?
Yes, my Packard's my favorite.
Yeah.
No, I love the old cars though. I love the smell of gasoline. Runs in my veins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was very intrigued when I read that you got a driver's license at age 12.
Yes, that was a little maneuvering.
Your family must have had some clout with somebody to pull that off.
Well, they felt very sorry for me. I don't think that they felt sorry for my mother. My father passed away very early.
Yeah.
And she did not drive. And of course, I was right out there after the car, naturally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate talking to you.
Well, thank you.
Is there anything else you'd want people to know about your car or about you?
Well, the car has gotten me many places. I might as well say the car is the star, and I think we should all remember that as we enjoy what we're going through this weekend.
Fantastic.
I have had a lot of pleasure both with the car and particularly in the friendships that I have gained because of attending these reunions. And I'm very happy to call so many of the people around here my friends. I hope they are, because I certainly have been having a good time, and they have made it possible.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Tell me about the 100 points this car scored.
Well, it's the first car in the Classic Car Club to gain 100 points. And I think it went through a lot of misery, and a lot of people went through misery to get the 100 points. For one thing, it was 4 times it was upholstered due to miscalculations of what was required of the fine Classic Car Club of America. They have high standards, and apparently this was the first one to gain prominence and felt was worthy of 100 points.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Did you ask her about her professional experience?
No. Would you want to talk a little bit about your work life?
About my work?
Your career?
Well, I'm kind of a Rube Goldstein. I've been banker, real estate agent. Well, I've just rumbled through the community and the long life of things. I've had a very interesting life in this old world. My mother kept telling me what a beautiful old world this is, and as I gain a few years, I realized that what she was talking about, because each year I see more beauty in the things that I observe.
Wow. Other than the cars, are there some other hobbies that you've enjoyed over the years?
Oh yes, I get my fingers mixed into a few things.
What sorts of other things are you involved with?
Oh, I'm interested in my community, doing things for it, and I have dabbled in a few stamps and a few coins and things like that. Nothing really way out.
Didn't you donate a significant portion of land for a local community from the farm? I think I read something along those lines.
I donated a museum for the city of, for the Plymouth Historical Club of Plymouth. And my mother was interested in libraries, and when she passed away, I had a library built for the city of Plymouth.
How long has your mom been gone?
Since 1957.
57, okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the library?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm very proud of it. It's very well run and organized library, and we have capacity usage of it. And it's a well-established one. They tell me it's the best-run one in the vicinity. But you hear other things too, you know, along the way.
Yeah, the other cars in your collection, could you talk about those a little bit?
Well, I collect the cars I like, that I see. And I have one that was belonged to a friend of my mother's that I didn't know that she still had the car. And one day she called me up to ask a favor of me on something, and she mentioned the car. And I said, "Do you still have